Hear that? Is that America cheering or a sausage patty sizzling to perfection? It's time to cheer for Egg McMuffin and fresh cracked eggs at McDonald's. It's time to wake up to the aroma of freshly baked biscuits and treat yourself to a real honest-to-goodness morning meal. Breakfast, it's on at McDonald's. Now get any breakfast sandwich for just $2. Available only through the app. Mobile order and pay available at participating McDonald's. McD app download and registration required.
Stand out from all the rest by becoming a CFA charter holder. As the investment industry evolves, professionals need the tools to evolve with it. When you become a CFA charter holder, you're not only developing real-world skills and expertise, you're demonstrating to employers that you have what it takes to thrive. In fact, more than 80% of those who earn the CFA charter say it boosted their career. Sound interesting? Go to cfainstitute.org/learn to find out more about the Level 1 CFA exam.
Get informed, get inspired, and get connected. CannabisRadio.com presents NCIA's Cannabis Industry Voice. The National Cannabis Industry Association is the only national trade organization representing the businesses of the legal cannabis industry. NCIA's Cannabis Industry Voice covers a range of topics, including the rapidly evolving political and policy changes that affect our industry, news and events of importance to cannabis professionals, and features on companies, individuals, and campaigns at the cutting edge of the cannabis industry. NCIA's Cannabis Industry Voice begins now.
Hello, it's your host, Bethany Moore, the Deputy Director of Communications with NCIA, and I'm live on the expo floor at the Midwest Cannabis Business Conference, and I'm talking with a brand new member of NCIA, Chris Cantorgiani of Hello Manito. Welcome to my podcast studio today.
Hey, Bethany, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, still have that new member smell.
So yesterday you were here for day one of our conference. How was your day? How did it go?
The day, it was really great. I was looking forward to it. I'd already gone through the agenda to see what sessions I wanted to be at, and I was pleasantly surprised by how informative the sessions were, how way deeper into things I'm interested in they got, and then how approachable the panel members were. I saw them at the after party last night, and I just got the warmest greeting from them, swapping phone numbers and all that kind of thing. I really feel like I hit the jackpot yesterday.
That's so awesome. Well, it's great to have you here. And so you signed up right on site yesterday, just visiting, talking with my colleague, Amy Rose.
Yeah, Amy was really great to speak with. She actually did a wonderful thing of just reaching out by email after I signed up for the conference as a non-member at the non-member rate. And I did look at that time about becoming a member. She made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and it was she really though we talked about the benefits, and one of the biggest ones for signing up at the conference, and they may wind up doing this at future conferences, which is why I mention it. They kind of bake in the admission for another conference later on in the year, so that they kind of double hook you that because okay, now I'm a member on a seedling level, but I'll probably wind up going to California or New York conferences in 2022.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really looking forward to our Cannabis Business Summit and Expo in December in San Francisco. Of course, it's been a year and a half since NCIA has been able to host these events. And thanks for mentioning the level of depth in our panels. It takes a while to go through all the applications for speakers and try to really put together the best panels with diverse voices and insights that go beyond the 101, if that makes sense. You can really get to some of that advanced level cannabis thinking.
Well, let me give a quick pitch for the beauty of the regional aspect of it that you kind of touched on, because I've been to other national cannabis conferences, and they're wonderful and informative as well. But there's a lot of, I don't know what it's like in your state, or I don't know what it's like in your state. Here, I just got out of a panel this morning. I'm talking about micro businesses in Michigan, like down the rabbit hole in a way, but really cutting edge and current and relevant. I'm in Ohio. I'm based in Ohio. I'm doing some work in Michigan, doing work in other states, but I want to know more about Michigan. And so I feel like if you had a national conference, it might not be as easy, or I did notice it was pretty California and Colorado heavy, which is lovely, but not the space I'm working in.
Sure. I mean, it's great to see these other states, especially looking at the Northeast corridor, all those little Eastern seaboard states. They're really starting to move as well. the toothpaste isn't going back in the tube at this point with cannabis legalization. We're just still stuck on this state by state kind of model. So let's talk a bit more about some of the challenges in the cannabis industry. The Safe Banking Act is one that our government relations team has been pushing year after year after year, and it passes the House of Representatives, but then dies in the Senate. But we were really excited about the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act, the KYOA. Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring as Safe Banking Act and the MORE Act. But we were so excited to get feedback from all of our members on that discussion draft bill. So being a member of NCIA is an opportunity for not only you to learn from your colleagues, but when things like this happen, we solicit, hey, what do you think? Because we're going to put a report together and send it to the Senate.
Since I am just hours old into this, wonderful organization, tell me a little bit more about that. So how do you get the conversation going for NCIA members? Is it through email? Is it through Zoom discussions? This sounds interesting.
Sure. So in this specific case, it was, send an email to Michelle Rutter-Freeberg, our Deputy Director of Government Relations, or I think we put together a form on Google Forms or something, right? So we collected feedback also from our policy council and from our various industry sector committees as well, to get all this feedback, and then they put it in the pot, boiled it, mixed it, and then submitted a several dozen page feedback document to the Senate so that they can hopefully listen to us and take our suggestions to heart, and particularly the incremental tax that they were proposing. Don't like it. I mean, we're trying to get rid of 280E of the tax code to begin with, right? So that wasn't good, but it was great to see expungement of nonviolent marijuana offenses baked into that bill as well. So, I mean, in addition to just legalizing cannabis, we are creating a holistic industry here that truly represents the legacy cannabis industry, those who have been impacted by the war on drugs, giving them access to this industry and support, as well as just seeing all the beautiful technology and innovation and science that goes into this as well. I know you've had a chance to talk to most of the expo floor vendors, right? Has anything stuck out to you as really exciting, or you didn't realize, or you thought it was very innovative? Or
there are it's really the diversity is apparent in a lot of ways, not just with people's backgrounds, but I'm looking over here at an agency that is about insurance and things for employers. Over here we've got lawyers. There's a lighting company. Over here we've got marketing and magazines. It really is almost anything that you can think of, or things that you didn't even know. I've done the loop several times, and each time I'm like, oh, I didn't see that booth before, or oh, I should go talk to that person. It is full of great new things just to absorb.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm really looking forward to the Cannabis Business Summit and Expo this December in San Francisco, because it's going to be much bigger than this Midwest regional show. And, the after parties last night were pretty fun, and that's why my voice is a little froggy right now. Did you get a chance to mix and mingle last night?
I did. Yeah, I did. It's funny. We're here in Detroit, which is a great American city. I think it's a little underrated, actually. People have sort of looked beyond Detroit because of how it had some rough years there. But I do love Detroit. And downtown, there's a place right next to where we are at the convention center called the Apparatus Room. And I had been there for dinner about a year ago and thought, oh, this is such a cool place. And I had a little bit of time to kill before going over to the nightclub where the event started at 7. So I thought, I'll wander into Apparatus Room. I wonder if there'll be, people that are at the conference here. But I let it go, bellied up to the bar, and immediately met people who are now my best friends. They were here for the conference. 2 guys from Chicago, a woman also from Chicago, but from a totally different aspect of the business. We chatted for the full hour and then carried on when we went over to the nightclub, and I met more people there. I listened to the other great thing was one of the panels I was listening to was about what's next in the cannabis space. And I'm very interested in these consumption lounges, which are starting to percolate and you're hearing more about. I think that that'll be something to really pay attention to. And there were 2 people on a panel that I was just enthralled by, and they're in Michigan. And I thought, I need to meet these folks. But I'll wait. They mentioned that they were going to be at the event. And in fact, one of them was the person that put the event together. And I'm holding crossing my fingers thinking, I hope they come in. Sure enough, in they come around 8 o'clock, and I told the people I was with, I need to go say hello to these folks. And I'm a talkative, kind of friendly person, but occasionally, it's not that I'm starstruck, but you get a little self-conscious when you go up to say to someone, hi, I sat and listened to you. Could we talk? They could not have been nicer. They were very warm and friendly, immediately gave me their phone number, said, let's talk. It was great. And I have been in other businesses for a long time as a journalist. I've been to journalism conferences. There's a little cliquishness at other businesses. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on journalism, but I know if you go to some other conferences, people that have been established for a while, sometimes they're not quite as friendly across the board with right now, I feel, in this cannabis space. People want to help each other. They want to hear your ideas, not because they want to take them, but they want to say, oh, I should put you in touch with so-and-so. There's a lot of connectivity in the purest form happening here right now. It's really lovely to see. So that was, the 2 highlights for me last night at the event, I hope you had a wonderful time too. I'd love to hear what you did, was meeting people and really, really talking specifics pre-event, and then getting there, having a good time with them, and meeting even more people. And that really is as valuable, or maybe even more valuable, than what I'm learning in the panels themselves.
That's great to hear. I'm so glad you had a good time. One thing that I hear over and over again and have observed is our industry really does have a community. We really do want to elevate the whole industry together, and that means lifting each other up. It's not stepping on each other. It's sharing wisdom, it's sharing insights, the storytelling, the war stories. This is still a movement, and that's important to remember. Cannabis is still federally illegal. There are still people behind bars for a plant. So the work's not over. Meanwhile, our industry is innovating faster and faster, and the science is lifting it up too. But there's still a lot of policy and advocacy work to be done. So I think we all kind of get that, because we're still coming out of the shadows and into the light,
I hope this doesn't sound cliche, but I really have felt like this is a frontier, and we are all pioneers. And maybe that's why everyone's so friendly, is because you know the struggle that they're going through, or at least trying to build something. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it, how much I'm excited by this.
That's so great. Well, we're so excited to have you as a brand new
Woohoo! I'm so honored to be here. It's
member.
Such a pleasure to meet you and to be able to speak with you. I've really enjoyed talking with you.
Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, too, here at Midwest Cannabis Business Conference. And hopefully we'll see you in San Francisco.
I hope too.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Bethany. Take care.
You too.
Hear that? Is that America cheering or a sausage patty sizzling to perfection? It's time to cheer for Egg McMuffin and fresh cracked eggs at McDonald's. It's time to wake up to the aroma of freshly baked biscuits and treat yourself to a real honest-to-goodness morning meal. Breakfast, it's on at McDonald's. Now get any breakfast sandwich for just $2. Available only through the app. Mobile order and pay available at participating McDonald's. McD app download and registration required.
Stand out from all the rest by becoming a CFA charter holder. As the investment industry evolves, professionals need the tools to evolve with it. When you become a CFA charter holder, you're not only developing real-world skills and expertise, you're demonstrating to employers that you have what it takes to thrive. In fact, more than 80% of those who earn the CFA charter say it boosted their career. Sound interesting? Go to cfainstitute.org/learn to find out more about the Level 1 CFA exam.
NCIA's Cannabis Industry Voice will return once we give a voice to our sponsors.
Good morning. I'm your host, Bethany Moore with NCIA. and we are on the expo floor of the Midwest Cannabis Business Conference in Detroit, Michigan. And I'm sitting with Melissa Allison of Paragon Payroll, who has a booth here on the expo floor. How's it going, Melissa?
Great. Thank you for having me. It's really cold here. I'm glad I checked the weather before I flew in.
Yeah, it's rainy. I know my hair's all frizzy and curly, and I'm just going with it. But it's nice to be here after a really hot summer, to be honest. And Detroit is such a great city. It's the whole state of Michigan is pumping after legalizing cannabis just a couple years ago. Dispensaries are open, business is booming, and the state itself is set to get pretty close to California market sales. So
that's incredible. It's
really
incredible.
Is. So you do payroll support in the cannabis industry. What are some of the things that you come across often that are unique challenges to cannabis companies?
That's a good question. We work with some of the biggest names in the industry, and then I will have two-man grows, startups, and the difference in their business needs is like, night and day. And we have a really robust platform that can speak to each of those business needs. It's scalable, it's growable, it's a la carte, and we normally try to take a more consultative approach. So when we first discuss their pain points, we get in there, we ask the right questions and see how we can skinny down their vendor list, handhold them through the process, point them in the right direction. Maybe our services don't fit their entire need, but we have partners that we can add in to help. We work with a lot of banks, CPAs, lawyers, give them more of that, hands-on approach.
It takes a village, really.
It really does.
To run a cannabis company. And, every state has their own fun little set of regulations and compliance requirements. So do you work in one particular state or across several states?
We are nationwide. We have banking relationships in every single state. We get our clients banked so that way they can pay their employees with direct deposits, have that full money movement. So we take that consultative approach, and we want to be that extra layer of support. That's one of the reasons why we joined NCIA, was we wanted to stay up to date on laws and news, and you guys provide such amazing content so that way we can share it with our clients.
Oh, thanks for saying that. Our government relations team in Washington, D.C. is certainly busy year-round, even during August recess, as we've seen this summer. And the Safe Banking Act, NCIA kind of considers that piece of legislation our baby. We helped name it and everything. But it just kind of sits in the House of Representatives, and when it goes to the Senate, much like other non-cannabis legislation, it just kind of dies there. But every year we get more and more co-sponsors for that bill, which, just shows that Congress and the general public are catching up to the idea that our industry deserves to be treated just like every other industry. And to that point, the employees that work in our industry, we create so many jobs, honestly, and those employees deserve direct deposit and maybe even 401ks, and
benefits.
Health insurance, right?
Absolutely. And during COVID, cannabis as an essential business, we have the view, because of our clientele, to see what the jobs report for cannabis looks like, and it's only boomed for us. We had a brief pause at the very beginning, and then hiring continued. And a big pain point for our cannabis clients is just getting the services they deserve without being, quote unquote, cannabis priced. And we do that very well. We keep our pricing the same across the book, whether you were a restaurant or you're an extractor or a dispensary. We don't price gouge. We know that they're getting hit from every direction, and we want them to trust us. They trust us with their money and taxes. So that's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many challenges that the cannabis industry has, but we're making progress. We are seeing companies able to offer the same kinds of hiring and retainment packages that other industries would have.
Absolutely.
And you're so right about the COVID-19 pandemic, when cannabis was deemed an essential business in most places. And other people weren't able to go to their jobs. I think there were people that maybe looked to the cannabis industry and said, I wonder what that's like. Or I've always kind of wanted to work in the cannabis industry, but it didn't make sense to make the leap at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then when there were very, very few jobs available, when the service industries were closed down and, so many businesses had to shutter their doors for a while, cannabis looked real attractive because
Absolutely.
we were booming. I mean, we had curbside delivery, we had online pre-order. We were able to, I hate to say it, pivot.
Exactly.
That was the year. That was the word of the year last year, right? Pivot. So we've always kind of been the cool, sexy, the job, cannabis industry. But then during COVID, it was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's serious business, right?
Yep. And what I've found working within cannabis and supporting cannabis is that they're so industrious, entrepreneurial, they are out of the box thinkers. So when they saw an opening, they would make it happen for their customers. And just the ingeniousness that I witnessed during the pandemic was awesome. They were able to pivot. They were able to keep the doors open. They were able to make sure that the patients were getting, the supplies they needed. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. Well, how's your experience been here at the show, since it's day 2 now, and I've got this froggy voice from going to the after parties last night?
It's been wonderful. I have to say I've done a lot of shows this year since everything opened back up, and this one has been the safest. And with the masks and social distancing, everybody's been really, truly respectful. And I know that a lot of people get into cannabis because, they have autoimmune diseases or they suffer from inflammation. So giving them this sense of security blanket so they can come out and enjoy the show too and network, it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're following the regulations set forth by the City of Detroit and the TCF Convention Center here. So masks are required. There's plenty of hand sanitizing stations. And the aisles between the booths also, we kind of spread them out a little bit more so people can social distance. So, yeah, we really are taking everyone's health and safety in priority, but we know that people need to get back to business, to the art of trade shows, to the, being here, meeting people. It's just different than a Zoom call.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciated, even though, we were locked down last year, everybody still would reach out. I learned so much from podcasts, Clubhouse. I got to jump into states that I wouldn't have before. I sat through so many Zoom calls about social equity and diversity and minority-owned business and, pushing women to their seat at the table that I wouldn't have before. So I really enjoyed that aspect of COVID lockdown. I got to educate myself on what was going on in so many different states.
Yeah, I totally remember that. It was like, welp, I'm sitting at home and I'm suddenly bored. Oh, look at that bookshelf of books that I could read. No, I'm going to get on the internet.
Yeah.
But, NCIA pivoted and we started, we couldn't host our events anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, so, our educational webinar series really kicked off during that time. We would have three or four webinars a week at one point there. It was like a bit much. And we were, of course, our weekly podcast on Cannabis Radio and our second podcast that's just a year or so old, the Cannabis Minority Report, hosted by Khadijah Adams, focusing on our diversity, equity, and inclusion issues.
It's fantastic.
As well, which has a live element on Facebook on Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern, so you can even watch it, which is cool. So, yeah, we really got an opportunity to dive into upping our game here
Absolutely.
at NCIA in the digital world. So I'm glad it all worked out, and I'm glad we're all here. It's nice to be back here and talking to people. So thanks for joining us, Melissa. I hope you have a great day 2 here at Midwest Cannabis Business Conference, and hopefully we'll see you in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
In December.
It will be a little bit warmer there than here, so you guys were very strategic in your planning.
Theoretically, yeah, San Francisco should be warmer than Detroit in December. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to San Francisco in a couple years, and the Moscone Convention Center is world renowned. So we're excited to be there and hosting cannabis there. I don't know if we've announced this yet, but we're going to have real product on the show floor. We're allowed, there's no sales or gifting, but you're allowed to have real cannabis on the expo floor at our Cannabis Business Summit and Expo. So that's just kind of a fun thing about the evolution of laws and trade shows and how far we've come.
Yeah, and that's funny because, that's part of traveling and going to these different conventions in different states, just what they're able to give out, what they're able to, even their swag is completely different, depending on states. So, yeah, I think California is the place to go.
It's going to be a good show. Look forward to seeing you there, Melissa. And thanks for sitting down with me, and hope you're having a great day 2 here at the show.
Thank you.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast, republication, or retransmission of this program without proper consent is prohibited.
Be the candidate investment firms are looking to hire. Become a CFA charter holder. Stand out for having the skills to thrive in the competitive investment industry. Visit cfainstitute.org/learn to find out more about the Level 1 CFA exam.
At ADP, we work with more than 860,000 companies worldwide. That gives us a pretty good idea of how to help businesses grow stronger. Whether it's through data insights that help you make informed decisions about building a team that works better as a team, or by keeping you ahead of thousands of changing regulations so you can keep ahead of everything else. Like building that better team. Grow stronger with ADP. HR, talent, time, and payroll.